When you're working with Mothernode CRM, you can add contacts to drip sequences anywhere a contact is located. So that means you can do it in the leads and opportunities, you can do it in the contact record itself, or you can do it in the customer profile. So let's take a look at leads and opportunities and some of the options that we have available to us here. First of all, in my leads and opportunities list, one of the things you're going to note is that there's a node symbol next to some of the opportunities and some of the leads. And what that means is that when I see this, I know already that this particular record is in some sort of a marketing sequence, some sort of a sales cycle or drip sequence, whatever you want to call it, okay? Now, what I can do is when I click on one of these over here, I open this up. So when I look at this, I go inside the record. Down below, you can see that I have only one contact for this record, and he has the node symbol next to him, so that is the person, obviously, that is being dripped to in this follow-up sequence. Now, if there were more than one person, an associated contact, etc., I can choose more than one person to have in a variety of different drips. We'll see how that works out in the customer profile. That might be more of importance in the customer profile just because you have some primary contacts, secondary people, and so on and so forth. Now, what I want to do is I want to take a look at how I can either manage some of these follow-up sequences, add more, remove some, etc. So when I click on the Manage Follow-up Sequence in the contact profile here, you can see that I've already added them into this one. This one has already been dripped to them once, and then here's the schedule for the rest of those to come out. I can force them to run immediately, and if I want, I can remove it entirely and go ahead and even add more. So I can add another one here and click Add to Follow-up Sequence, and now you can see I've also included this, and this one is scheduled to run ASAP as well, okay? If I made a mistake or I don't want to do that, I can either stop it or remove it. I'm just going to remove it entirely, okay? And get rid of it. All right. So you're probably wondering at this point, well, what happens if what is ASAP? Well, from the time that I click add, within about a 5-minute time period is when that will go out to that particular party, okay? So you have a few seconds, a few minutes to basically change your mind and get them out of that, all right? So this is standard everywhere. So I'm going to close out of this. All right, as it relates to leads and opportunities, we know that there's different ways that we can bring leads and opportunities into the system. This was an example where maybe we just would have typed one in, we took a phone call, added somebody we met at a meeting of some sort, and we just manually put this in. But there are other ways that we can get leads into the program, so let's talk about that. As it relates to web forms, if you're using the lead capture forms on your website where somebody is coming through and asking you for more information, you can automatically drip to them as well without having to do anything. So in this particular instance, I'm going to go over here to the lead capture forms, open up this web form that I have that I've placed on my website. Everything is here the way I want it to be. And down below, I can now choose to basically say anybody who submits on this particular form on my website will automatically be dripped or marketed to or put in a sequence of events, whatever that may be, that's involved with these particular sequences over here as soon as they hit submit. So that's great because it could be including an auto reply that's crafted to web visitors and such. So it's a great way to automatically begin communicating information to them 365, 24/7. Okay. The next way to do it, and I'm just going to undo this here. The next way to do it is also back in the leads and opportunities is the possibility of importing some records. So when you import those records, you can go over here, choose the template. I'll choose my business card reader. I just came back from a trade show, and I'll go to advanced options, and basically over here, I'll go to choose any one of these specific items, okay? So very, very easy that as soon as I import these records, they're automatically going to be put into these particular marketing sequences, okay? So if I did go to a trade show, then this may be some follow-up activity that basically you've made a sequence designed or catering to that specific event. So you can thank them for dropping by your booth, things like that. So you can really get creative on how you want to control that marketing information for that particular event. Okay. All right. Closing out of this. Now I'm going to go over here to my customer screen. Let's take a look at customers. Customers are very similar to the leads and opportunities. Okay. So over here, I'm going to open up this particular one here, and then I want to show that I have two contacts, and you can see that this one is in a drip sequence while this one is not. Okay, so this one has a follow-up sequence assigned to him while this one does not. So again, same thing. I can choose which ones I want to see here, etc. I can open that up and see, and then of course I can see consolidated ones down here with follow-up sequences. Okay, so I can look at each person. All right, so this person used to be in one, now he's not, but you can see he was drip 2 before, and then Andy is still in one here, so I can see that. So very useful information down below, but you can also get that from the marketing dashboard too. All right, and then finally, when we take a look at the contacts over here, the contacts list is much like what we saw in the leads and opportunities, that I can see these individuals have these nodes next to them, meaning that they're already in drip sequences. Okay, so one of the important things with respect to this particular contact, again, you can see that I have the manage the sequences here. You're getting the theme that I can just add them and remove them as I like. But one of the things that's important about this is that the opt-in and opt-outs are also available in the other screens, but I want to talk about them here, okay? This is very important that you have permission to market to these people. So if they come through your website and they want more information, they can be opting in to your marketing sequences. However, you want to make sure that if somebody opts out, you're respecting their permission to opt out. Now, in this case, you can manually opt them out, but if they unsubscribe, they're opting out automatically. So here I'm going to opt them out manually, and I'll say yes. It says contact has been opted out, and it updates it here that they've been opted out. Now, let's just say that there's an instance where I manually want to opt them back in. I just happen to be talking to somebody, say, hey, listen, I'm going to send you some information. Do you mind if I just opt you in so you can start to get some of these important emails that we discussed in our meeting? I want to make sure you get those. Person says, absolutely, go ahead and do that. Then you can go back over here. You can click in the opt-in. It says, are you sure? You say yes, and then you say, yes, I have permission to do this, and you have to explain yourself that, talk to okay, so she gave me permission. I'll click opt-in, and now you can see here that we have opt-in. The checkbox is now checked again, and when I click on this, manage sequences, you can see here that I have details as to what I just wrote. So this came from my alias user, David Waters, the IP address in which I did this from, and here's the reason I put in. This is to make sure that it's verification that this is okay, that Catherine gave you permission. So those are the ways that you can quickly add people into drip sequences. Again, anywhere a contact resides, you have the ability to put them in those lead nurturing sequence, drip sequences, marketing sequences, customer service sequences, whatever you wanted to classify them as, you're able to market to them from any one of those modules.